Okay, crew, here we go. Coach interview. Haven't heard from you in a few weeks. Been really busy building some stuff in the background, which we're going to talk about in the next couple of days. But we have got Mr. Jeff Wright here with us, and I'm really excited to talk to Jeff because I think that he has he's built an incredible business, like on Skillest over the last couple of years, which has been amazing to watch, and done it with a relatively, I'm sure Jeff, you'll be okay with me saying this, like a relatively small digital presence. Like it's not like, you've got 10,000 followers on TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is. You've got 1,500 followers on Instagram, and yet you've really built a life-changing business, I suppose you'd say. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely not a big following at all. Everything I started was from scratch. So when I started the Skillest in I think it was 2023, I also started my Instagram. I also started really coaching kind of period. So yeah, everything was from scratch at the same time.
Amazing. Well, give us your background then, because if you sort of were launching, I mean, the advantage you do have is that when you come into coaching relatively new, there's no rules, are there? And you don't have the same behavioral trends that most coaches have got, which is people booking for a less. This is for in person, so you get used to over years. You get a bit institutionalized, right? Where you work at a golf club, people book in for lessons. You arrive, you deliver the lesson, you go home, and believe it or not, it just turns into like this, repetitive day in day out thing. You didn't have that. You sort of were digital native, I suppose, when you came into this. But before we even talk about all that stuff, let's just talk about you and what's your history to get to the point in 2023 when you decide to go all in online.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town in the north of Scotland, up by Inverness, and yeah, really played a multitude of sports growing up: football, golf, tennis, badminton, swimming, you name it. Did it competitively, and then slowly started to funnel into golf when I was like 17, 18. And by the time I was 20, I would say I had my heart set, mindset on playing professionally. So spent 5, 6 years doing the amateur stuff. I'd work in the winter, just get a bar job, save up some cash, play in the summer. And to start with, that was regional, then it was national, then it was international. Then I was playing for Scotland. And then all of a sudden, I kind of got to the stage where I thought I can maybe do something here as a pro. So turned pro COVID year, which was obviously a bit of a write-off. Not ideal. Got a few tournaments in,
Not
and
the
then
best year for it, no.
world ended. Um, so I had 2 years playing professionally full time, 2021, 2022. Played the Euro Pro Tour, which, if you're not familiar, is like third tier European golf below Challenge Tour. Doesn't exist anymore, and was decent. I broke even excluding sponsorship, which I think is on mini tour standard is not bad. Finished top 20 in the order of merit both years. So I was a good player, but kind of quickly realized I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Um, Especially that level, it's a grind. You're not traveling to the most glamorous of places or playing the most amazing golf courses, and everything's on a really tight budget, and you're away from home all the time, you're away from friends and family all the time. So yeah, I didn't really love the playing side. And yeah, wanted to still be involved in golf. I'd felt like I'd accumulated a vast knowledge of both swing technique, but also how to get your ball in the hole, how to prepare for tournaments, all this kind of stuff as well. So I felt really well placed to help golfers. So I wanted to coach. So yeah, 2023 started online, started a little bit in person, started my kind of Instagram coaching page, and so everything was really new to me in 2023. I'd done some coaching before, casually, friends, family, sponsors, juniors, but yeah, nothing ever really too serious. And yeah, that's really up to where I am now.
And so, what were you thinking, like when you decided to teach? Did you straight away think, I don't want to be stuck at a club, an academy, or whatever? Like, were you straight away thinking, because it's so interesting. We are now mature enough as an industry, I'd say, like digital coaching, right? That we have now got these digital native kids, right? No, I'm an old fart, right? So I can sort of say that, right? But these digital native like coaches that they're sort of like coming into it with totally different expectations. Would you agree that's what you wanted? Like you didn't go into it thinking, I'm just gonna like, work at a golf club and just, be there for 40 years and then end up sort of a jaded old golf pro. Like you obviously wanted something different.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted very much to be my own boss because that's what I was used to as a player, of course. I chose when I practice, where I practice, how much I practice, which tournament I played. So yeah, I wanted very much to keep that going forward and be in charge of my own coaching. Um, but actually, when I started coaching, I actually also started helping Andy Little with his juniors in person. So
Right.
I was down in London, yeah, two worlds colliding. So I was down in London helping Andy for a couple of months, and then the online stuff started to go really well. So realized I enjoyed that more and more. And yeah, within kind of 3, 4 months, I was in a place I could do it full time, and so yeah, took the leap.
So you obviously don't have any legacy stuff in your brain around how to teach as well, right? So meaning that when we teach in person, sometimes the biggest mistake coaches make is that they take their in-person coaching and they put it online. So what that means, and not to say that that's necessarily bad, but the actual flow isn't really adaptive or adapted to online, if that makes sense. So a lot of coaches, the biggest mistake they make, right, is that when they get someone online, they'll say someone sends them some golf swings. They go in and they give them like a hardcore breakdown on their golf swing, full analysis, and then they basically say, "Good luck with that. Let me know if you've got any, questions." Right? Which is very similar to the in-person experience. If we're going to be completely honest, it's a little bit transactional, meaning that when someone comes for an in-person lesson, obviously we have a great relationship and you can build rapport. But often we sort of just say, "Okay, good luck, and I'll hopefully see you in 4 weeks," right? So what you don't want to ever do is that on when it comes to online, because that person might live on the other side of the earth, and like they need sort of more of a cadence of understanding. Well, what's next? Like, how soon am I interacting with you? Do you feel like you've probably brought that sort of digitized like idea to the coaching experience a little bit more because you didn't have the legacy stuff there?
Yeah, definitely. I had no habits, good or bad, ingrained from in-person coaching. So yeah, it was a total clean slate. And yeah, I could kind of really focus purely online. And 99% of my coaching has been online. So I feel,
Yeah.
I'm almost like a new wave of online coach where I've only really done online. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
How
more tailored
cool.
to that world.
Bloody awesome. I love it. Right. That's probably going to be confronting for some coaches out there. And some coaches are going to be like, oh, no, you need to do a lot more in person before this, you can get good at the online. But, potentially it's the exact opposite, right? Is that you don't have any of that legacy stuff. Now, okay, so we're 2, 3 years into your journey. You've done close to 5,000 lessons on Skillest with 1,500 Instagram followers. Now, that probably breaks the rules of what most coaches out there are thinking because they're like, oh, I don't have enough, of a presence. And, how am I ever going to build a big, business? Give everyone your secret, Jeff, because you are just like an absolute beast on the platform and have been for, pretty much from the start. You've been pretty busy straight away. And, you haven't got this presence. So like run us through what do you do when someone interacts? Because you've been huge beneficiary of the ecosystem itself. So if you don't know out there, coaches, we have like hundreds of students downloading the platform every day looking for coaches, right? And Jeff has probably done really well with students looking for coaches because you've known how to convert them, you interact with them, you engage them. Do you want to give, everyone out there like an idea of what do you do when someone comes to you? How do you retain them? And like, what does the entire process look like?
Yeah, just going back to the start there, just to kind of how I got it going in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yes.
As we've said, I didn't have any in-person presence, which kind of in this case worked against me. So I had to get some traction going,
Yeah.
obviously in some way, which yeah, I really had to do through price. So I really had to start with a low price, and I did it, yeah, did it really cheap, and then I had a kind of rule every 5 subscribers, I'd bump it up $10. And so
Gotcha.
got five in, bumped up, got five in, bumped up. And, it sounds like it's kind of really slow and it's really deliberate and patient, but really within like a month or 6 weeks, you're charging a good price.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was, I think, actually a benefit for me is that I didn't have that in-person presence where, I think a lot of established in-person coaches, they already have a price point in person where they maybe don't want to shaft their in-person students and price low, or it's not worth their time online. So yeah, I didn't have that holding me back, which was good. And so that's how I got it going was really price and using that to create traction. Um,
How, just really quickly, how low did you start? And not that this is, what everyone has to do, but like, where did you start?
I started $25 for an unlimited monthly plan.
For an unlimited monthly plan. Okay. Wow.
Unlimited monthly, yeah.
So that
I
is
actually
like,
still I still have a couple guys that pay me that actually as well.
yeah.
which they've been with me the whole time. So yeah, I just again bumped it up as I went along.
Which you could, if you really wanted to, say to them, "Hey guys, I'm sunsetting this. This is like you've got 2 months to go, and I'm canceling it." Right? You could do that if you really wanted, but obviously these guys have been
Yeah.
with you forever. So what? So, but this is gold, right? And I know you're going to have a bunch more nuggets. But what I want everyone to take away from what Jeff has just talked about is that people freak out about their pricing a lot, right? They're like, "Oh, what? I need to get this right." You don't need to get it right at all because, like, you can change things. What did you say? Every 5 subscribers, right? So every
Yeah.
5 subscribers. So that might be every 3 days, right? That might be every 2 weeks, whatever it is. It's so versatile pricing on Skillest. It's so different. So this is where he doesn't have this legacy in-person stuff. Like when I think about my in-person pricing, I probably went up $40 over a 10-year period, if I'm going to be completely honest, over for an hour, which is kind of ridiculous. Whereas you can do that in a week on Skillest, and people don't get upset because your old students get grandfathered on the old price, right? So you can
Mm.
be constantly changing, and you can do even like I know a couple of our coaches have done flash sales, right? Where they go, "Hey, I'm a half price for 2 hours," and they hide their old plan and they put it up. So you got to think about that versatility of pricing, right? And what you can do there. I think that's a really cool lesson, Jeff.
Yeah, and you can always go back. If you put your price up, you can always change it. It's done. It's dynamic both
Yeah.
ways. You can do whatever you want with it. So yeah,
Yeah.
try things out. Try it out and see what happens.
Awesome. Okay. Now, once you got all that momentum, right? So you built it out and you've got like how many subscribers have you got at the moment?
At the moment, about 60. I kind of bob back and forth between 80 at the peak, which for me is early summer, and then 60 around this time of year.
Amazing. And I'm just looking at your pricing now. Let me have a look. So you're sort of like $150 or something like that a month. Is that generally what you sort of, yeah, you're doing? Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's it.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I'll go into what you offer here because you've obviously got all your video, you've got courses, you've got video content, you offer a lot for what you've got, which is great. Okay, so once you started building momentum, what did you do? Like, how did you retain people and what did your actual learning and coaching process look like?
Yeah, so for me, I have a big thing. Communication for me is number one. So that entails response time, that entails the quality and content of your replies, it entails just how much you care about your students. So that for me is always first. You're only ever perceived as good as you communicate. So through that, I feel like I really, I can kind of form good friendships with some of my subscribers. I've visited some subscribers in Germany and Cyprus, in Scotland. So yeah, I feel like that for me is huge. It helps massively with retention.
Yeah.
And yeah, my thing, we've touched on this, my small social media. I don't have a massive funnel or a massive name to bring new clients in. So my key is to try and not lose too many clients. Naturally, there's going to be an outflow, but I feel like my outward flow of clients is pretty small. It's pretty slow. So
Yeah.
communication, I think, is massive. Response time is probably the biggest there. Even if I can't get a lesson back to them that day, I'll always message them to tell them that. I think that just really helps. I've been the player for most of my life, receiving the lesson, so I feel like I've learned so much about what I want from a lesson. And yeah, just feeling, I think feeling special from the coach, feeling like you're valued from the coach is huge.
So good. Love it. And this is the more I'm talking to you, the more I can just see the changing behavior of golf coaches, right? Because we do have I've spoken to a bunch of coaches that just can't figure out how to sort of fit it into their life, which for you, you'd be like, well, how can you not fit it into your life? This is, like life changing and it's quite easy. But most golf pros, we're just used to not speaking to our students, if we're going to be completely honest. It's like, all right, you're paying for that hour, right? And then once they disappear, like you're not paying for anything. So I'm hesitant to provide value. And then you speak to them again when they come back in 4 weeks. Whereas for you, that you don't have any of that legacy stuff. So you're like, hey, subscription, interact, you're my friend. You probably put people into a group. You've probably got community going. You've got all this content and fast feedback time. I think that such a vastly different learning experience to what most students are probably used to, which is quite transactional, if I'm going to be honest.
Yes, I mean it's a world of instant contact these days, right? So the golf world, I think, has to follow suit and yeah, play a part in that.
That is awesome. That is fantastic. So So what's next for you, like in terms of like growth? So you, no doubt, you want to be, charging 200 USD, within the next, month or so. You've obviously where this time of year is a very funny time of year. Well, it's not that funny. It's sort of probably quite expected where growth generally flattens a little bit for most coaches, right? For most coaches, I've spoken to you about a couple of coaches who are currently at the busiest they've ever been, and well, a bunch of coaches are actually the busiest they've ever been, and there'll be a few different tactics you might take into the winter. But like, how do you think about this time of year in terms of growth and how you're going to attract some new students?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to get more of a presence on social media. My social media so far has only ever been a portfolio for me. I've never tried to grow social media, in and of itself. It's always just been to try and show off the product of my coaching.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I need to invest more time in social media, and just start up a TikTok, start up a YouTube potentially. I'm only on Instagram, so I definitely want to grow that side of things and try and get more of a funnel in and make more of a name in kind of in the coaching sphere. So that would be the main
Yeah.
one, I would say as well. And yeah, just try and create more catchment systems. Offer a little bit of an easier frictionless way in. So onboarding calls and more messages out to potential new clients, and yeah, just try and catch some more people that way.
I just had a look then at your profile, and you've almost got as many followers on Skillest as you do on Instagram, right? So you got over 1,000 followers just on Skillest. Do you use that feature? Do you send stuff out to your followers on Skillest?
I haven't done, to be honest, for a good while. I
Wow.
was a lot at the start, and that definitely helped. But yeah, because I've been happy with where I've been at in terms of my number of subscribers, I haven't felt the need to. But it is definitely a great feature. I've used it before when I was kind of trying to climb the rankings, and it does help. Even if you're sending 100 messages, you get one yes back. It's still one yes more than you'd have gotten otherwise, right? So it's a powerful tool.
Totally. I think, the great thing about you is that I think there's so much room to grow, isn't there? Whether it's your presence online, the way you use the platform itself. But the one thing that you've done just absolutely incredibly well is that you've just brought this, incredibly intense level of communication that you obviously have with your students. But something that is really underrated for all of you coaches out there is that and this is what we've learned in the tech world, right? Is that growth comes from retention, right? So there's no point in pouring people into the top of the funnel if you can't retain them, right? So you will, like what Jeff does, obviously so incredibly well, is provide so much value, a huge level of care and communication that the retention's so high that all he needs to do is add a couple of people per month. And, within months, years, or whatever it is, he's now built this incredible business. So I would say that to all of you out there, if you think that, if you're thinking about where is my next person coming from, put as much attention into how am I retaining my current base at the moment while I'm pouring people into the top of the funnel. So that's something I think you'd probably agree is just super important.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a subscriber that you've retained who may have otherwise unsubscribed is basically like a new subscriber. So, yeah, you got to treat your current clients, current students, and yeah, reward them for the loyalty.
Amazing, mate. Really cool. That's a great chat. It's so good to. How old are you now? How old are you?
33.
33, right. So
Yeah.
yeah, most of your coaching life on the platform. It's just so good to hear a digitally native, a digital coaching native, talk about how they've grown on the platform. It's really, really cool. So, is there anything you would leave? Say you've got someone who's brand new to the platform right now, and they're just thinking about what can I do to grow my business? What are the like two or three key points beyond even what we've talked about?
Yeah, I mean, beyond what we've talked about, the price is huge, and I would say, the patience that comes with the lower price point is also huge. You're gonna probably not earn your hourly rate in the first few weeks as you're building up. But yeah, speaking from what I've experienced, it's absolutely worth it. Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing for me, life-changing for me. So totally, put everything into it you can to start with, and it will pay off. And if you're diligent with it, if you work hard, you will get the clients.
Awesome, mate. Much appreciated. I appreciate you staying up nice and late. Oh, it's not too late now, is it? It's
It's
been
past my bedtime though.
It is past your bedtime. All right. Well, I better let you go, mate. So thanks so much for being a part of the platform and everything you've done. And yeah, it's great to see such an awesome success story. So thanks again.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for Skillest. Thanks for everything you do for us, and I'll speak to you soon.
Not a problem.